So I thought I might take you on a little tour of this Remington Rand 1937 Model 5 typewriter. This one is a beauty. It is in such great condition. This one I actually gave as a gift to my husband years and years and years ago. He was a playwright, and so he had an office where he had, it wasn't fancy, it was in our house, but he wanted some writer vintage things, so I got him this typewriter. It's not like he ever used it to actually type, it's just there for looks, but you could use this one to type because we've cleaned it up and fixed it up, and it works pretty great, actually. So I just thought I'd kind of show it to you, and we could look through it. It has with it this booklet, and I thought maybe we could look through the booklet because I can't really, for ASMR, type on it. It would be real loud when you type. I actually did a short typing on it, and you can hear how snappy snap it is. But we can still look at how beautiful it is. I can't get the whole thing in the shot here. Let's see. Sorry, I hit the microphone. It says Remington Rand 5, and all the lettering's in like very nice condition. And on the front, it also says Remington Rand in that kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Deco, kind of Great Gatsby-ish looking. I just think it's so pretty, this typewriter. This one, all the paint is on. There's no chips or scratches. I have cleaned it. I polished it with turtle wax to really give it a nice shine. And I cleaned all the keys and the interior. And it works really well. Part of what we do, my husband and I, we fix old typewriters and clean them and sell them. We haven't been doing it as much lately for a few reasons. It's really a lot of strain on your neck to work on these things and they're so little, and you have to really, get in there and look, and it honestly, our necks were killing us. They were literally a pain in the neck to work. And every typewriter is different, so you have to kind of learn everything for each typewriter. I mean, the brands like Remingtons are sometimes similar, and like Royals are sometimes similar, but really, year to year they change, model to model they change. So they're difficult to work on. This one's a very old one. It has an open front here. The keys, you can see they pop up like this. And it has a QWERTY keyboard, QWERTY. And I have heard, I don't know if this is accurate, but I've heard that the reason for the QWERTY keyboard, was that people would type so fast once they got used to it. And if there are certain letters that, if they were near each other here, so like, wait a minute, let's say these two letters are two letters that often go together. If they end up coming up at the same time, they can get locked up on each other. They get tangled on each other. So they put letters that often go together on opposite sides, so that they won't sit on top of each other. And because then it's harder, you have to stretch your fingers out. It slows down your typing. So really, in the day of computers, they could change the keyboard to something that's, more simple, I guess. But it's just stuck around because people who know how to type on it still know how to type on it. I don't know if that's urban legend. Let me know if you think it is. But I've heard that, it's to kind of slow people down. So this one has, right here, there's a lever, and you can move it up and down whether you want the red ink or the black ink. Speaking of the ink, this has these metal spools as opposed to like plastic ones, and that came originally with this typewriter. So if you change out the ribbon on one of these with the metal spools, you want to keep those metal spools, you just take the ribbon off of, whatever cheap plastic thing they're on, because that's probably what they'll be on nowadays, and put it onto these metal spools because they fit perfectly and they work perfectly with these older machines. So you want to look out for that, because sometimes the metal spools are gone and they put plastic ones on there. They never quite work as well. I'd move this around, but I know the bell will ring, and I didn't want to ring the bell on here. And this, sorry, let me try to move it. Okay, this is called the Platen, and this one, even though it's from 1937, it's in pretty good shape. Some of them get really hard, so hard that when you type, because of the way this hits it, it'll punch a hole right through the paper you're typing on. And there are these feed rollers in the back. Let me see if I can show those to you. Hold on. Carefully turn this around without hitting the microphone. Without hitting anything. Okay. So, oops. So you can see back here, these are called feed rollers. And they spin when you put the paper in, so they're feeding the paper through. And sometimes with age, they'll become flattened out, like not round. And then you can't feed the paper through because they won't spin. Now you can take this off. You unscrew all the parts and you pull this piece out. And you can take off these feed rollers, and you can take off this platen and send it off to a company that will re-rubber them. They'll put brand new rubber on. And there's still a few people I think who do that. I think that costs like $150. I've never done it actually. I have sanded the rollers down a little bit to get past the hard part. I've heard other ways of softening rollers, but I've never found that they actually work. Sorry, I hit the microphone stand. So, but you know what? If you're not typing with it all the time and it's just for decoration, who cares? Like whatever, it's fine. So I thought maybe let's roll this piece of paper through here so you can see. Hopefully it's not too loud. That's how you roll the paper in. And there's a little knob right here. So the paper's locked in right now. But if you push this knob back, then you can slide the paper and get it where you want it, or pull it out all the way, and then you can lock it back in. And on the back side, there's little knobs you can use to set the tabs so that it starts at a certain spot and it ends at a certain spot. And this button called self-starter, it's basically a tab button, so it jumps ahead like 6 spaces. I can't remember, but I think you can reset how far that self-starter goes. I'd have to remember it, I'm not sure. This is used to lock the carriage in place, so if you're traveling and you have it in the case and you want to make sure that carriage doesn't move around, you can lock it by moving this. I don't want to ring the bell, so I'm trying not to. Don't ring. Okay. Try not to do it right now. And then like these. Oh, you can't say. Okay. These right here. They move the carriage forward and back. Besides, the space key does, of course, too. But when you want to pull it back, you can hit that and put it back. I'll tell you what we'll do. Let's look through this booklet. Maybe it'll tell us a little more, and it'll be quiet, because, like I said, I'm a little worried. A typewriter can be kind of a loud thing to play around with. They clicky-clacky and clicky-clack, and they have the bells going ding-ding-ding. method instructor for Remington typewriters. Remington touch method instructor. This booklet is published by the Portable Typewriter Division of Remington Rand Inc. and is furnished gratis to purchasers of Remington portable typewriters. While it is not intended to take the place of the more complete instruction courses of commercial schools, it may be used as a supplement and contains sufficient material for acquiring a fair degree of skill in touch typewriter. All right. I'm sure you guys can hear the rain. It's raining outside. Today was the first really cool fall day we had. It's October right now, and it was woke up to a thunderstorm, and it's been raining all day long. But I'll tell you, my trees needed it. That's for sure. So they have few don'ts. Don't punch the keys. Practice a quick, even stroke. Keep the fingers close to the keys. Don't pound with the forearm. Use the finger and wrist action, keeping the forearm steady. Don't tense the muscles of the arms and shoulders. Relax. Don't make exceptions. Always the same way, the right way. Any other method of operation produces confusion. Wow, okay. Don't acquire bad habits at the beginning. Start right, keep right, and soon the details of correct position and style of operation will become automatic. All right, and then they show you where you should be putting your fingers, and they have lessons. I remember trying to learn how to type. I took typing in high school. And then I didn't learn anything because I wasn't a great student. I didn't really want to learn, I guess. But then when I was older, I got a program for the computer I think it was called Dvorak typing. And I'd practice with that, and I was never very good. But now that computers are everywhere and you just use them all the time, I can type all of us can type. Like, nobody practices, you just type. It's funny. It used to be such a skill. You'd say, I can type for 40 words a minute, and that was like enough to get you a secretarial job. But now they just assume everybody can type. To release and lock carriage. Yeah, that little one. Spacing between lines. Yeah, you can set the spacing if you want to have double spaced, so it looks like you typed more than you really did. for papers at school. Inserting the paper to set margin stops. Yeah, that's what I was saying. There's these little like levers in the back you can set so your margins are at the beginning, and the end of the sentence. Changing the ribbon. They show you how to do that. General care. Do not clean your machine with alcohol, as it is injurious to the high-grade lacquer finish. Do not attempt to adjust your machine at any time. It was carefully adjusted at the factory, but if it ever does need adjustment or repair, take it to the nearest Remington Rand branch office where factory-trained servicemen will give it expert attention. Well, you're not going to find that. It turns out I'm the serviceman now. I'm the serviceman now. So here's all the different parts of the machine, which is actually really helpful because, some things it's hard to figure out why they're there and what they do unless you have this to look at. And this is for a junior portable, which was kind of their smaller version. It didn't have all the options that the more advanced Streamlines had. And then here are some other models they had. The Remington Speed Portable, the Noiseless Portable, the Noiseless Desk Model, and the Deluxe Noiseless. So that's kind of helpful. Well, I hope you enjoyed that video. Let me know if you want to see anything else with any of the typewriters. This is probably the nicest one I have at the moment. It's a real good looking machine. Hopefully that wasn't too loud. This booklet's pretty nice to have too. I use just like a little piece of, t-shirt, really soft cloth, and just polish it. Sometimes I'll put a little turtle wax on there if it needs cleaning. A lot of times when these things are dirty, it's really just oil from people's hands over the years. It'll build up. So you kind of have to clean that off. But a lot of times the paint is chipped or missing. And these models, like these old ones with these kind of glass keys, these actually probably are plastic, but anyway, a lot of them got cut up because people cut the letters off to make jewelry during the early 2000s, mid 2000s. That was super popular. And some of the machines were so busted and broken, they probably, you couldn't have repaired them, so better to have something happen with those keys. But sometimes I saw people cutting up really nice machines, and that would kind of make me sad. I polish each one of these keys because a lot of times the keys get gunked up all around. So I do usually polish them all around the outside and the inside, make sure they're super clean. And then I clean. Usually if this is like not working right, a lot of times it's just grease and dust build up. So I do use alcohol to clean that out with like a wire brush or a toothbrush, and clean all these keys and the letters on the keys, because like letters like O, that have a O in it, it'll get the ink from the ribbon will kind of build up in there and make it so it doesn't look clear on the page. So you want to clean all those out and make sure when they hit the page they look really good and clean. So yeah, I love this machine. I don't know what else to tell you about it. But if you have any questions or want to see any other videos with it, just let me know. I mess with them all the time, so. I also mess with radios and lights.